what's the most likely thing that will happen if I live? But what? He said, well, the side of the brain that the first aneurysm is on controls your ability to speak.
At least there's an explanation. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend, where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants, highlight woke absurdities with the light of awareness, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters. Now, there's a tyrant who's not necessarily cognitively enhanced or cognitively ableized. I think you know who I might be talking about. Hunter's dad. He's a fun-loving guy, likes to ramble on, and languages he makes up on the spot. It's kind of like speaking in tongues and then like does interpretive dance through falling down steps. Why does he do that? No question. He does that. There's obviously a problem, but why does he do that? I'm sure you know the guy had an aneurysm and had like open brain surgery a couple handfuls of years ago. I don't know what year, but I believe it was within 10 years ago. And I could be very wrong on that. But there was a video just resurfaced on an account that I follow, The Real RFL Family. Shout out to him. I follow him on YouTube. In fact, I see him doing reaction videos to a number of my comedy videos, which I really appreciate. So if you're out there, thank you very much for that support. I really appreciate you. But not too long ago, he posted this video of Biden that should be widely circulating. It hasn't been, at least I haven't seen it, at least not anytime recently that I remember. But I came across, I'm like, man, that just explains a lot. Okay, there's no mystery. We know what's been happening, but now we understand why it's happening. You got aneurysms. A lot of people don't even live through those. Then you got brain surgery. A lot of people don't even live through that. So you didn't necessarily scoot through that completely unhinged, if you will, or untainted. It's just bad. He's a bad human with bad cognitive functions. So you might have wondered, why does he speak like this?
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to
Or why does he speak like this?
Seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Kleptocracy and the guys who are the kleptocracies.
It's pretty funny. So there's a million examples you and I have seen the past few years that are as good as that, and many that are worse than that. So let's take a look at the full video. It's less than a minute that the Real LFR Family posted on Instagram, where he's talking about his freaking open brain surgery. What is it called? Open skulled brain surgery? Open skull? I would just call it open brain surgery. That's, those of us who identify as brain surgeons, that's what we call it. So it's my truth. Don't hate, bigot.
I had 2 cranial aneurysms, and they literally had to take the top of my head off. I mean, they take a saw and they cut your head off.
I wonder if it's just like, get the chainsaw out of the garage. I'd imagine it's not just a saw.
And go in to find the artery that is, one was leaking, the other that hadn't before it burst. It's just an absolutely true story. I said, what are my chances of getting off this table?
By the way, like, this is obviously post-brain surgery, and he's like way sharper than he is now. It's just interesting how fast the decline has been. Even when he got out of office with Obama, he I know, reptilian, that kind of thing, but he was able to pass off as a normal human. Obviously, he always looked sleepy. Shout out to Trump for the original nickname Sleepy Joe, which I really appreciate.
And being completely normal. He said, well, your chances of living are a lot better.
Just so you know, he's not completely normal. So the doctor was wrong. Or Joe was wrong. No, the doctor was wrong. I forget. I just got dyslexic in that moment. He's not normal, but he's technically living. That's my point.
35 out of 100, 50 out of 100 make it. I might as well be the one. I said, what's the most likely thing that will happen if I live? But what? He said, well, the side of the brain that the first aneurysm is on controls your ability to speak.
Yes, it sure does control your ability to speak. I think that's where we have problems. And then I just see this top comment here. Why doesn't he have a scar on his head? He lies too much to know if this is even true. That's a good question. He's lied multiple times about his son dying in Iraq. He did not die in Iraq. He served in Iraq, yet he died in an American hospital. Didn't die in Iraq. You hear him talk about all the time. Like, yeah, like I went to black churches when I was a kid. And yeah, I was on the sidewalk with my dad. I was in high school and he was looking at gay people saying like, you know, gay people are awesome, son. And then Joe Biden goes on in his Senate career and he was fighting gay marriage, saying it should be outlawed. And yeah, it's just fun. Like the guy lies all the time. So could he be lying about this? By the way, he's lied about bigger things. Do you remember the pandemic? Pinocchio's nose got bigger during that time too. So I wouldn't put him past him for lying about this. Only thing is, I don't think he has a good reason to lie about this because it's just not a very good lie. Because it's obvious that he appears to be someone who has severe brain issues, cognitive issues. So I don't think you would tell a lie about, yeah, I had open brain surgery, when in fact you seem like you have open brain surgery. You might tell a lie like I had open brain surgery, and then if you're super sharp present day, then that would sort of like, oh, like you really overcame that. You're a strong person. But it's like, okay, if you had open brain surgery, you function as such. So it looks like you got to be like a weaker minded person. So I doubt he's lying about that, but it's a good point. Why doesn't he have a scar on his head? But maybe he does. He does have hair. Maybe he combs it over the scar. So I've never sniffed the guy's scalp. I would like to see someone sniff Joe Biden's scalp. First off, I doubt it smells good. And second off, just let him know what it's like to like feel like a child that he sniffs. So I'm talking like a 6'7", at least 350-pound man, just like kind of like the Mountain from Game of Thrones. Biden doesn't want to be sniffed by him, but like this guy, like, you know, he can bench press 800 pounds. It's like, if he wants to sniff you, he's going to sniff. He just grabs Biden behind, from behind around the shoulders and just good sniff, snot dripping down, all the things. Just, I think Biden needs to experience that. So with that said, this was just a fun video to take a look at, and we get to have a little intel on why one of our most beloved tyrants, and by far the most popular president of all time. I mean, geez, let's not question that. Why he functions the way he does. So I appreciate you watching, my freedom-loving friend, and I look forward to seeing you on our next video. But until then, stay free.